Hello, my people. Welcome back to my channel. Marco here for another POW reaction. We got POW releasing their very first web drama, Always There. I'm so excited for this. I wanted to get to this when it dropped like 2 days ago. But as you know, I'm sure you know, the English subtitles weren't available until right now. So I had to wait. It's rather short. 11 minutes and 10 seconds. I thought this would be like much longer. I honestly went into this thinking it was going to be like an hour. Really and truly an hour. But it's 11 minutes. I'll take what I can get from POW. Always There. POW. Web drama. Episode 1. Let's get into this. Oh. We're beginning with this song.
밥 먹었나?
I knew it was him. I knew it was Jungwon.
디현빈, 나 좀 잘하지 않았어? 마술 사람 봤을 때 어때?
뭐라 하노? 하나도 안 비슷하구만.
좋지. 나 방금 비슷하지 않았어? 잘했지 나.
잘했어.
그럼 그거 한 번만 더 해주면 안 돼? 블루베리 스무디.
싫다.
아 왜? 한 번만. 나 한 번만 해줘. 현빈? 나 한 번만 해줘. 나 진짜 그거 듣고 싶단 말이야. 블루베리 스무디. 아시죠?
블루베리 스무디요.
아니 너 말고 난.
아
경상도가 듣고 싶다고.
Oh, here we go.
그래. 블루베리 스무디.
뭐하냐? 지금 충청도, 경상도 블루베리 스무디로 사투리 챌린지 하고 있었어.
아 사투리? 내도 좀 사투리 좀 한다.
너가 아버지 뭐하시노? 어이?
너가 아버지 뭐하시노?
설아들이 뭐하노?
너가 아버지는 뭐하시노?
아 하지마라.
너가 아버지는 뭐하시노? 말해라.
아
너가 아버지는 뭐하시노?
우리 집 경 요식업한다. 됐나?
너가 아버지 뭐하시노?
George. What does that say? Always there? Maybe? I don't know. Always there? Okay. Love how warm everything looks.
김유치아이 뭐야 너 여기 살아? 나 여기 살아. 같이 학교 갈래?
나 좀 이따가 갈게.
아 오케이. 이따 학교에서 봐.
What year does this take place in?
아 기몽이 아까 그거
I had one of those.
아니야. 아 근데 내가 봤을 땐 골키퍼가 문제야. 아니야. 너 뽕이한테 대야가 이긴 했어. 대야가.
어디 가게? 이따 같이 내려가자.
나도 같이?
응.
그래, 이따 같이 내려가자. 왜 그 정도 사이였어?
야 근데 니 같은 한 처음 본다.
나? 내가 왜?
학생회장은 다 범생이들 아이가. 근데 쉬는 시간에도 맨날 우리랑 놀러 댕기잖아.
그건 확실히 그렇지. 근데 현빈, 그건 당연한 거야. 와우. 나는 이 바람과 하얀 천만 있으면 어디든 갈 수 있어. 우린 청춘이잖아.
걔한테 원래 저런다지. 야 근데 니 맨날 노래 듣고 있던데 뭐 듣는 거야?
그냥 작곡 관심이 많아서 꼭 쓰고 있어.
현빈아.
아 징그럽다. 하지 마라.
현빈. 너 먹을래?
됐다 니 해라.
Oh.
정치겠다. 가자. 그래. 가자. 같이 가.
Wow. Is this a song?
아, 요시? 그 요즘 힙보이들이랑 같이 다니는 첫 만남 음악회니. 왜? 나도 들은 얘기인데 걔가 핏보이들이 착해서 핏보이들을 맨날 같이 놀아주는 거래. 아, 진짜? 어쩐지 그럴 것 같긴 하더라. 그 진짜 같은 애가 보여주면 할 리가 없어. 그건 진짜 말이 안 되긴 해. 걔는 항상 음악만 듣고 있어서 무슨 생각을 하는지도 모르겠다니까. 맞네. 맨날 찐 같은 노래만 듣네. 그러니까 찐땀이다. 아, 그래도 뭘?
Ooh, Jungbin's really good at this.
그런 거 아니야?
와. 아, 끝났다.
Are they the only ones ever in class? Where's everybody else?
현빈, 넌 오늘 갈 거지?
아, 내 오늘은 안 될 것 같은데.
왜?
또 빼는 거 봐. 아, 진짜 재미없긴 하다.
그럼 니네 먼저 가 있어라. 내가 갈 수 있으면 갈게.
아, 오케이.
나 빨리 가야지.
그럼 나도 빨리 가야지.
이따 봐.
빨리.
같이 갈까?
와, 시험을.
가자.
너도 이렇게 논다?
Let's get it.
엄마, 내 물어볼 거 있어갖고. 오늘 꼭 가게 가야 되나? 아들이 노래방 가자던데. 아니, 난 가게 안 할 거라니까.
Ooh.
아니, 내가 좋아하는 것도 아닌데 자꾸. 아니. 알았다. 갈게. 갈 거다.
현빈, 너 먹을래?
일단 얘랑.
Interesting.
미안. 괜찮아?
너는 그러면 가족들이 다 같이 마산에서 서울로 이사 온 거야?
엄마 아빠 일 때문에.
아 그래? 쉽지 않았겠다.
근데 내는 뭐 외동이라 갖고 괜찮다. 니는 가족분들 다 서울에 계시나?
부모님은 해외에 계시고 나랑 여동생만 한국에 있어.
아니 여동생이 있었나?
응.
니랑 닮음?
그냥 내 얼굴에 머리만 길어.
아 그래? 아 궁금한데 나 소개 좀 해줘. 싫어. 성경은 내 성경이 말이 너무
Leave his sister alone.
언제 한번 놀러 가서 가야 돼.
너 이따 뭐 할 거야? 해야지.
근데 즐거.
아 맞다 현빈 너희 집 아구찜 가게 한다며
진짜로?
진짜 맛집이래
아구찜?
그치
우리랑 아구찜 먹으러 갈래?
다음
Oh
주에
my
다음
god.
주에
뭐야,
나도
무슨 얘기하고 있었어?
무조건 가야 돼
네가 말하고 다녀.
내가
워워워워.
말해. 뭐라는 거 알아?
아니면 말하고 다닐 사람이 누가 있는데?
아니, 미쳤냐? 니 미쳤어? 어?
누가 있냐고.
뭘 누가 있어? 나 아무것도
네가
안
말해서
했는데.
할 거 아니야.
나 아무것도 안 했다고. 뭘 말했는데?
희미한 빛 따라 점점 더 멀어져 간다 어제 만들었던 우리 추억이 서로를 놀리는 장난 영원히 찬란할 순간 빈틈없는 매일매일 문득 두려워 이 순간이 사라질까 난 널 보고 싶어 아주 오래 돌아오는 계절 넘어
Okay, so what we've heard of the song, I assume this is the song. I'm loving it. I think we're gonna get a music video. I would assume, right? I think that drops with episode 2. So this is their first major acting challenge, I guess you can call it, with this web drama. And there's only 2 episodes. I wish there were more to flesh everything out. The commentary on Dialects, I think, is rather interesting that they bring it up here, because we have Jungbin beginning this whole episode, our introduction to his character, our introduction to all the characters, really, with him kind of egging Hyunbin on and like teasing him for his different dialect, because he comes from Masan. I believe that's how you pronounce it, right? Masan. And what was the word that there were? Blue strawberry? What? Blueberry smoothie. I'm sorry, blue strawberry. Blueberry smoothie. He kept asking him to say it in the way that he says it because his dialect is different from theirs. But it's interesting because dialects are something that I bring up myself in a lot of K-dramas or K-pop, whether it's music or otherwise, reactions. And, I'd assume that most countries, if not all countries, have different dialects, right? And I've asked that many times about South Korea. Are there different dialects throughout South Korea? I mean, my family comes from Sicily. And Sicily and Italian, Sicilian and Italian. Italian, which is, I guess, the more proper way of speaking Italian, is different from Sicilian. Sicilian is not taught in schools. It's not part of the official educational system in Italy. So Sicilian, the dialect, as different as it is from Italian, it's still kept alive, remotely so, and that's because of the older generation that's passing it down, not because it's taught in schools. You know what I mean? So, I mean, one could argue that it's a dying language because it's not properly taught in the educational curriculum. So, I've asked this, interesting enough that it's Jungbin that's like talking about different dialects and kind of teasing Hyunbin about it, because I've asked this about Jungbin personally in my videos. Is his way of speaking, his accent, different from other people in South Korea? Now, I should maybe look up where he's from, because he has such a way of speaking that I find so interesting, so unique. And that's why in the beginning of this episode, before we even knew who was talking, I was like, yep, I knew it. It's Jungbin. It's Jungbin. Because he has just a certain tone to his voice and the way he says his words in regular conversation, but also when he's arguing, when he starts to argue, I'm like, oh, here it is. It's like that. And this is no disrespect to him as a person, as an artist, but it's kind of like that nagging, like, get your ass back inside, you're late for dinner. You know, it's kind of like that parental, overly strict guardian. You know, I'm thinking, honestly, I'm thinking of like a grandma who's like, you know, ready to throw their slipper at their grandson. That's his tone. That's his tone. And I think even when he's not like arguing, he's just speaking in normal conversation, it comes out of him. And it's just something I've really picked up on and I really like about his voice. I'm looking him up right now because I just find it so interesting that they would include this, something that I myself have brought up time and time again in my reactions. Oh, I forgot that his birthday is so close to mine, July 22nd. I'm July 25th. Damn. I'm a Leo, though. He's a Cancer. Bucheon, South Korea. He was born in Bucheon. I hope I'm saying that right. Bucheon, South Korea. I'm not really familiar with Bucheon or where it is in South Korea. But with all that said, I do wonder if his dialect is directly from Bucheon. So this is actually interesting. I'm looking this up right now. The dialect from Bucheon, where Jungbin is from, is pretty standard in South Korea. It's part of the Gyeonggi province, which surrounds Seoul, which of course is the capital of South Korea. And it says because of that, the dialect spoken in Bucheon is very close to the Seoul dialect, also known as Standard Korean. This is the dialect most commonly used in media, education, and public life in South Korea. That's crazy. It must just be the tone of his voice, the pronunciation, as opposed to the actual dialect. Because dialect itself is the words, the grammar can be completely different. Sometimes a little, sometimes a lot different. But in terms of Masan, it says that Masan is actually one of the more distinctive dialects in South Korea. The Gyeongsang dialect. So this must be a thing, right? To bring it up with Hyunbin, it's probably a thing that a lot of people who speak with the Masan dialect are, you know, it's brought up to them a lot, you know? But I feel bad for Hyunbin because they're teasing him. And it reaches a boiling point by the end of this episode with Hyunbin swinging at Jungbin. And we don't know if he actually makes contact, if he knocks him out. But that's really interesting to me. He's going through a lot because he's not just going through, you know, this light teasing, but oh, look at Yorch yawning. Great. That's good. But he's also going through the stuff with his mom because she's putting him to work. He doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to have like a quote unquote regular job. He doesn't want to work at the restaurant, you know, but he's out at the restaurant, he's working. And this was a great moment too when Jungbin is hearing those two other guys, they're talking shit about Yorch. He's always got his earphones in, listening to music. Like, and so mind your business. Go to class. I mean, you are in class, but go to a different class. Go to class that teaches you to mind your own business, you know, like whatever, bro. But apparently the P4 kids are just nice to him. Like they feel sorry for him. They pity him. So they're just trying to keep him company by being friends with him. They're not really friends with him. That's what they're saying, right? I do like how Jungbin hits the door. That was his way of telling them like, fuck off. And the irony, maybe foreshadowing, is that he's the one that gets hit in the face. Pom! By getting punched. Not by these guys though, by one of his own. You know, he pushed Hyunbin a bit over the edge there. And that's what he got. But before that, when, oh, this was a great scene as well. Hyunbin, love the close-up. Where's the close-up? There's a close-up. He's on the phone. Yeah, here. I love the close-up of the eyes. I love when they do this in movies or just K-dramas in general. Really nice. Really, really, really good. Just makes everything so emotional and impactful. It's like we're getting inside their head now, you know? This was great too. I love the way this scene was shot. I know it's outside, but the colors are so lush, and I love that. It looks very high budget. But Jungbin is walking by the restaurant, and he sees Hyunbin. Did he know that Hyunbin worked there is the question. Maybe he's seen them work there for the very first time. I'm not quite sure. But either way, he sees him and he wants to say hi. Yes, okay. Oh my God, how can I forget? I thought this was so rude, but I had to also keep in mind that, well, I mean, Jungbin's been an ass to him. I believe this is, I guess, the realization of Jungbin understanding that, oh, well, he's probably mad at me. So why am I even saying hi to him? But also, that's interesting because that means as a character, he thinks that he can treat Hyunbin the way he treats him and everything will be okay. He doesn't ever have to apologize for the way he makes Hyunbin feel. The emotional turmoil, the bullying that he gives Hyunbin, he feels is no big deal. And he never has to apologize for it. And Hyunbin is in fact affected by it. He holds it. He holds that weight. He holds that emotional trauma. And then you couple that with his mom being overbearing and forcing him to work at the restaurant, which isn't even really a bad gig, but I get it. If it's not something you want to do, then for you, it's going to feel like the worst thing ever, right? So this is him realizing that he is mad at me and maybe I shouldn't act like everything's fine because that's not fair to him. Now, on the flip side, if we really want to make Jungbin look bad, and this is probably the way most people are going to read this scene, Jungbin looks back on how Hyunbin hit the drink out of his hand and was rude to him. We know why he was rude to him, but rude to him nonetheless. Jungbin sees that he's working at this restaurant, wants to say hi, but then thinks better of it and is like, wait, no, he shouldn't see that I see him when I can just run off and tell the other boys, hey, guess where Hyunbin works? Isn't that funny? Which of course leads to that revelation and the punch at the end of the episode. Right? Do you think that's what Jungbin did? I don't know. I will also say the apron is really cool. Love the apron. Every time I react to anything K-pop, even like K-dramas, K-pop variety content, whenever they're wearing aprons, they're always like the nicest aprons. So I really love the aprons. If you guys know the brand, let me know because I love. And they have different colors too. There's the denim one with the brown. I love that. I gotta know who makes this stuff. So that's Hyunbin and Jungbin. And then there's Yorch, who's he's only in South Korea with his sister, who we don't see, we might not ever see. Hyunbin, I think, takes a liking to her, doesn't even know who she is, but does she look like you? That's funny. But Yorch is all about his music, very introverted to himself. He has the MP3 player, which I used to have. Didn't really like it, to be honest with you. I was so glad when I got my first iPhone, not my first cell phone, because I've had cell phones before, but my first iPhone, because it was basically an MP3 player with everything else included that a phone can do, and then some. And so I was so happy to get that, because then I could just like negate the MP3 player. So that was fun. But interesting that he even is using an MP3 player and not a cell phone. I don't know what the idea was behind that. If this is supposed to be taking place during a certain time, don't know. So now I wonder, I love that the notepad as well is like the exact same size as the MP3 player because he puts it on top. Now we're made to believe that the song that Yorch is creating is in fact going to end up being Always There. The song we're actually going to get from POW. So is that true to life? Though, is Always There a song that Yorch did in fact in real life put together, and possibly that's what it is? That's what they're telling us, art imitating life, imitating art kind of deal. We didn't get much of Hong. Hong was in and out, didn't really do much. Hopefully we'll get more of him in episode 2. Dongyeon, though, I want to talk a little bit about him. I love this whole montage of them playing soccer. Here's this. Yeah, it's like the exact same size. That's really cool. There you go. That's so cute. And, we focus on that shot for like a second. Why? I'm going to assume it's because what he's writing down, it's showing us that what goes on the notepad is what's supposed to be going on the MP3 player, because that's a song, right? That's what I'm assuming that means. That's what I got from it anyways. Perfect. I've said this before. And I think I said it either during my reactions to Loud, or I believe they were on After School Club, because I reacted to that on Patreon as well. And I remember saying, I think it was loud. I remember saying, I can totally see Dongyeon as a political figure. Something just is, it's the body, it's the shoulders, it's his height, it's the face, it's the haircut. Maybe not necessarily this haircut, maybe when you part the hair, but he just has such a political look to him, aura to him. And I can totally see him running a campaign on the campaign trail, giving speeches in front of reporters, behind the podium. Like, I totally see that from him. And he's a little full of himself. He's a little full of himself. It goes well with politics, right? But is he not like the president, the class president? Isn't that what they say? Aren't all student council presidents total nerds? Oh, so he's the student council president. Incredible. We're talking like months before. You know, I don't even know how long POW has been around now. Has it been 2 years? For me to even say he's just so presidential. Like, I could see him in politics when he's older. And even now, like, I could see him when he gets older. I could see him acting as a political figure in a K-drama or movie. And the fact that they even have him as president of the student council on this show, that like, who's listening? Who's watching my videos? All of them. That's insane to me, really and truly. And then the dialect thing with Jungbin earlier, like, that's insane to me. Another thing I want to say that I haven't mentioned yet, this is a great shot. Vote for me. Peace on earth. Another thing is, I've said many times before that I could totally see a universe with POW and Boy Next Door in which they all live in the same neighborhood and they all go to the same high school. And Boy Next Door would be older than them by maybe a grade, maybe 2. But POW would be the younger group. And I totally see like a story unfolding in which you can write them interacting with each other and, you know, becoming friends, becoming enemies, becoming friends. So the fact that we have a web drama with them in school, like, the only thing we need is Boy Next Door to show up. Knock, knock. Literally, knock, knock on the door. Oh my God. What a plot twist that would be. I don't know, guys. Somebody's watching and taking notes. Is all I can say. Right away. Right away. Take all the notes you want to take because I'm loving this. I thought the acting was great. Felt very natural. Didn't feel forced at all. You know, that goes hand in hand with a lot of their chemistry. They've been together now for, like I said, I think it's been 2 years. I think 2 years. So they've had all that time to grow, you know, to argue, to make up, you know? So that translates, I think, rather well with them acting. Another thing, yeah, I was saying, are they the only people in this class? Like, there's never anybody in this class. This is why we need Boy Next Door to knock on the door and show up. Knock, knock. Is it true your family runs a braised monkfish restaurant? So look at him, he's getting tense. So why does that bother him is my question. It seems like a genuine question. It doesn't seem like it's like, ew, your family owns a restaurant like that? That's gross. Like, that's something to be ashamed of. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. It doesn't seem like they're saying it in that way, but he's reacting to it as if they're saying it in that way. So I am a little confused by that. Maybe he's just accepting what they're saying incorrectly. See, I heard it's a real hotspot. Like, that's a compliment. Like, it's a popular place. A lot of people go. Whoa, I didn't know you were related to that place in some way, you know? So the way he jumps up at him, the way Hyunbin, you know, in all my time getting into POW, I've liked them all. Do not get me wrong. I like them all. Jungbin's my guy. But as time goes on with every era, every comeback, you know, Hyunbin really steps it up, I feel. He really steps it up to the plate. And he's like an onion that you keep on layering every era, every comeback. And with every unveiling of that onion, we see so much more of him. And it's just nothing but greatness, I feel. The way, look at how he shoots up. I love the concern. Just sheer concern from Jungbin. They're both great in this scene, but Jungbin, I think, is just so strong of an actor. See, I don't believe Hyunbin is one to fight. That's the thing. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But that's exactly why this works, because he's been pushed enough over the edge where it's like, this is completely out of character for him. So I feel that that's why it's all the more serious, because it's something he wouldn't do. I'm talking about what little we got from the character in this episode, not him as a person in real life. Don't know. I'm separating the two, right? They're using their real names. I get that, but I got to separate the two. So I think that it just goes to show how pushed over the edge he is. He's stressed. He's like a puppy who is put in a position that they should not be put in and doesn't know what to do. So it lashes out. A puppy who otherwise wouldn't do that, would be very friendly, would be very sociable with others, doesn't have a problem with other people or other dogs. Like that literally is what he is as a character in this episode. Wow. That's crazy, bro. Guys, what did you think of episode 1 of Always There from POW? Let me know in the comments below what your favorite part was, how you thought everybody did. I would love to hear from you. Cannot wait to get the full song. And I think we're going to get a music video, so hopefully get a music video as well, and then we'll see episode 2 as well. I wish this was more than just 2 episodes. Like, I want this to be an hour. If it was going to be 2 episodes, like an hour each. But I'm a little selfish and greedy, I admit, but being selfish and greedy is not necessarily a bad thing if it's for the greater good. We'll run with that, okay? Maybe I should get into politics. That's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for spending all this time with me. To check out some more POW with their very first web drama, Always There, episode 1. We'll meet again in episode 2. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We'll speak again real soon. Peace.